Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Coming from playing a very big match against Club America in the CCL, unfortunately, we couldn't get the job done and qualify, which was our motivation, our desire. But as a coach, I'm extremely proud of how we competed. I believe that in the two legs that we played, we put a lot of effort in trying to go through. We challenged them in a big way. And there were minor things that unfortunately didn't allow us to be able to continue. But I do believe that we represented MLS in the United States soccer in the best, possible way, even though we can, even go deeper in analyzing that we maybe could have been better in the first halves. Even though at home, I still think that we play well. There's things there that we can analyze. But overall, I think we earn even more respect right now for what we did against Club America than ever before. So we now have to move forward with the disappointment of the CCL now as part of the past. And actually, having tasted this competition, we want to be back. So that is our motivation to make sure that we pass the page and now we can concentrate in the MLS season, hoping that we can get as far as we can get, win the whole thing, and try to make sure that we can return. And of course, in order for us to do that, we need to take care of every single practice. We need to take care of every single game. And now right away, after playing so many matches, we have to play our rivals, our Cascadia rivals, Seattle. These matches are always great matches. I'm happy that we play them right now coming out from the CCL, because I think we need to put that in behind, and what better game than against Seattle to make sure that we concentrate on what is coming now in front of us. A Seattle that has been doing well in the season, that changed system, and that, again, it will come to try to challenge us, and we have to be prepared.
We'll open to questions, beginning with Joel Odom, Oregonian.
Hey, Gio, you said you like having Seattle, back to back, but, coming off of CCL, having, going from one big match to another, what kind of challenge is there in, shaking off Wednesday, but still maintaining that high intensity level for Sunday?
Yeah, that's a great question, because it's not easy to play so many matches and have a roster that little by little is getting back into, having all the players available, but we still don't have the full roster. So when you have to play so many matches, it becomes important, the depth that you have on the team, in order to make sure that you maintain the level, as you said, the quality that you want from your team. So definitely that's one challenge that we have. So we have to be mindful of how the guys have to be physically ready to play this match, and emotionally as well, because it's another component. When you're coming from so many matches that you had to play, when you come in from giving a tremendous effort to try to go through in a series of games against against a team that it was very difficult, like Club America. When you in your rotation, things don't go your way against Dallas, of course, there's an emotional part that now we need to make sure that we leave behind, and we're prepared for what we have in front of us, which is Seattle. And I'm sure, looking at the players today and conversing and seeing them on the training, I'm very secure that the guys will make sure to be ready to play Seattle this weekend.
Go to Paul Danzer, Portland Tribune.
Hey, Gio, I'm curious if there are any unique physical challenges to the recovery coming from elevation on short turnaround. Is there anything different in terms of that challenge of getting the bodies back to where you need them to be?
Yeah, I think the elevation actually will help us more. That's what I believe, to feel better now that we are here in Portland. What I think is what I said before, the difficulties is the amount of matches that we had to play. Of course, the fact that we play on a Wednesday, now we have to play on Sunday. Thank God that it's not Saturday. and we have an extra day because I think it's going to be very important. And in the emotional part of what we have gone through, because definitely it's not easy to manage the two competition. But I'm just very proud of the players. I think I'm lucky to have a group that bounces back and today came back here very positive, ready to be able to do the work that we had to do and now prepare for this big match that we have against Seattle.
Okay, we'll go to Jada Evans, Seattle Times.
Hi, thank you. I wanted to ask, you had the opportunity to face Seattle in the preseason, maybe get a little bit of a taste of the change of formation. How much will that help, help with Sunday? And then also the fact, like you said, you do have a quick turnaround. So having seen them before, does that help at all?
Yeah, it's a good question because I agree to what you said. It is a good thing for us that we have played them in the new system because we know the things that we can do now that we play them, now that we have analyzed them, scouted them. Of course, they have gotten better because the more that you play the system, the better you understand it. And I'm sure that they will grow even more and we'll find a more refined team right now playing against us than we did when they were in preseason because they were still learning what they need to do, and I'm sure that is those mechanisms that Brian is asking, they will do better now. But we also are better physically. We also have grown a little bit more since we play them. So that's why I think it's going to be a good match and a little different because they play differently. But it's still the same intensity and the same type of match because I don't think there's been ever a Seattle-Portland that has disappointed.
Will Conwell?
Gio, you mentioned the change in formation for Seattle a couple times here now. I was wondering if you can expand on that a little bit and maybe tell us sort of how you see the way they're playing this year as opposed to last year.
Yeah, so I mean, they had a style of play that gave them a lot of success through so many years, and they stick with that system. And within the system, yes, of course, they made a few changes, some different things depending who was available for them. But I believe that this year they had a need because of the group that they had to make some changes, and now they have opted to play with three in the back, with or you can call five. It depends, with two or three sometimes in the middle, depending who's in the midfield, and then on two strikers on top, which it gives them the possibility to be able to bring more of a challenge to defenders and create more space for Ruiz and play off, with a bigger body and a more rotating and another player with a lot of mobility, being very dangerous on the wide areas with their two wing backs that attack and try to get to the box. So there's changes, and in those changes, you see that the team, the more they have been playing in the system, the more they understand it. So we know what to expect. We know how they come in here. They might make a few changes, not too many, I don't think. They've done well so far. And I believe that we're prepared. And I know that they will be prepared for us as well.
Time for one more question before we bring on Jeff Antonella. We'll go to Ari. Go ahead, Ari.
Hey, Gio, thanks for the time today. So this is the first Timbers Sounders game, I believe, since August 2019, where there'll be fans in the building. And I know it's limited capacity, but how much of a difference on the field as far as energy and intensity do you think that could make? And I guess what are just rivalry games like this like when you have that element to it, which you haven't had in a while?
Definitely. First of all, I have to say that regardless to the fans, these games have been always competitive because there is that desire to make sure that that we prevail, each team, because there's always that desire in the rivalry that we have, which is a great rivalry. It's on the field. There's respect, mutual respect from the players, from the coaching staff. But once we start and the whistle blows, we're ready to want to win. And these games never disappoint. But when the fans are on the stand, there's a big difference. There's more energy, there's more passion, there's a building that you feel has an extra component that bring these games into a different level. And that's huge. Even though, as you mentioned, that we don't have the full capacity, still a small number of people coming in and fans. Those few that come in, I tell you that you can hear them, and their support is huge for us when we play at home, and for Seattle when they play there.
Okay, we're going to wrap